Of this video is to familiarize you with some of the reports that are available to you in your NWEA platform so that you can quickly take a look at your assessment data and begin planning instruction with and for your students. Under the View Reports option, you will have map growth reports. Now, I understand that this might look a little bit differently for you, but everyone has access to map growth reports. There you'll see this host of different reports that you can look through. Please take a moment to familiarize yourself with what all of these reports offer. I'm going to walk you through a few of them that will be of most benefit to you, but everything here offers different information. NWEA is revamping the reports that are offered and how some of the reports look. So next year, this might look a little bit differently, but for now, take advantage of these resources. So the class report, let's just look at the sample class report, gives you performance data on the whichever assessment it is that you most recently gave. It gives you a table with a summary of that information. This table shows the number and percentage of students that fall within each of the levels for that particular test. And then down here, it shows you the name of the students and their RIT range, their Lexile range, and what category they fall into in the various different sections of this particular test. You can run this report by student name, or you can run the report by RIT, so that will help you in grouping your students. Another report that you might find helpful is the student profile report. Once you, click on this report, it will take you to your class and your students' individual profile. This is a really neat interactive panel that shows you the 3 different tests that your students take. You simply will click on each one of these to see these windows populate with the information that's relevant to those assessments. This panel here is where you and your students go in and you have your growth goal planning conversations. This graph down here shows you how your student has done over time with the different iterations of the assessment, and it shows you the norm reference sample and how your student compares to that norm reference sample. You might want to send this report to the families so that they can see how their student has done, and they too can support those conversations. As you drill down into each one of these sections, it will tell you what your student is now ready to learn. And so this is where the power comes in, you actually digging into these reports and clicking on all these tabs and this interface, because it allows you to, with the student, have a conversation of how that student is going to proceed in their educational plan. The learning continuum is, I'm going to go live into this one. Bree, I'm going to use you. The learning continuum is a fabulous platform that allows you to pick you're going to see your class that at this time the prep has completed the reading, and you will be able to look at the different areas in reading that the students were tested in, And once you click on these drop-down menus, you will see by RIT score which students fall within this section. So essentially, this has already grouped your students for you, allowing you to see what your students are next ready to do. If you have another platform that you use to supplement instruction, these would be the areas that you are perhaps setting up lessons in or talking to your student about, where they can go in and work on these concepts. And this is for each individual section. And you can see here that you can pick. For example, if you are teaching capitalized spelling and punctuation, you can go here and see how your students are broken up, group them homogeneously or heterogeneously, and give them these resources for instruction. So the learning continuum, again, this is the learning continuum. It's a really amazing resource for you to be able to go in and look at your groupings for those individual areas. The class breakdown, actually, let's look at their sample. The class breakdown does a very similar thing, where it looks at the different assessments that you've given, and again, it does the grouping for you. Again, this just simply helps you to see where your students fall by RIT, and you can use the match RIT to concept tables for either math or reading to, again, prepare lessons, instruction, learning pathways for your students. It allows you to also look across the different assessments and see if your students are falling into the same RIT band across different assessments. If you want to, again, do homogeneous or heterogeneous groups, this also helps you with that. And the last one that I will share is this achievement, status, and growth. This is a interactive, let me go back and see if their sample, yes, let's look at the sample. So the sample, this report allows you to toggle through how you want to see this data. So it essentially takes your students' data from all of the assessments and it places them in one of these 4 quadrants based on their performance. And you can toggle on the student name. So instead of a symbol, you will see the students. You can turn on the math, turn off the math, see only the language. You can see only your female students, only your male students, and you can see subject, gender, and ethnicity for your students. And the table below gives you the students' information across the different assessments that they've taken. So it gives you their RIT scores, it gives you their ranges, it gives you the projected growth and what the student actually grew. It gives you, as well as the conditional growth. So again, just a ton of information for you to be able to plan your instruction for your whole class or plan your instruction for small groups, and to inform your students as to how they're doing so they can make decisions about their own academic goals and achievement. Let's see. That's about all that I'm going to show you in this video. Please feel free to explore. It doesn't take very long. but we will also be planning much more professional development this coming school year so that you can feel more confident in using this platform in your day-to-day decision making and instruction. Thank you so much.